Hi friends, Tessa here, the Artful Colorist. Welcome back to my channel and my coloring corner. As you can see on the screen, today we are going to be doing a review of the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens or markers or brushes. What are they? They are, for me personally, I find them to be a paintbrush with a continuous ink system. That's the best way how I can think of describing them to you guys. I got the 80 set. That's all the colors in their set, their series. And here, let's do a quick swatch. I will show you them. I'm not going to do it a whole 100% swatch on screen because I previously did them. Here's all of the colors that I have. And yeah, that is the swatches. So here is a couple tests. I've been using just for reference, my mixed media Canson XL sketchbook that I got at the beginning of February to kind of do some studies and my kind of thing. I'm kind of branching out and then moving past, kind of wanting to elevate my art style and my art journey and my art education. So with that said, this is how I did this one. This is with the just mixed media paper, and I did a blending of colors together without water, and that's that one. This is with a water, I call it a water wash, but I'm very new to watercolor, so I'm not really sure. I laid down a blend of markers without any water on a dry piece of paper with just the ink, and then I came back and kind of went over it with water, and I thought that was a really neat effect. I also did where I laid down some color and then drug it out here. Yeah, I do have some Canson watercolor paper that I used. It's their cold press 140 pound. I don't know if, I have to say, I know I keep saying I'm new to watercolors. I am very new to watercolors. I used to use watercolors without a lot of water, and I used them more as like a gouache and more full strength instead of this watery, paintery kind of look, because for me, when I used watercolors, it was not something I wanted, a more opaque thing, and I never, as a child or as a young teenager, I didn't know that there was such thing as gouache. So on this paper, it is like I said, the watercolor Canson watercolor paper. I did blending with just the markers with no water, and I found that it really was neat in how it stretched out, just like on the mixed media paper. And then I did a blending with water. What I did was I put a color down here, and then I kind of did a little space and put another color, and then kind of worked my way that way, and then I blended it out with some water. I do have an example of how I did this section here. I will insert it now. This has dried a little bit on the paper, and I wanted to kind of do a real-time test with you guys and see what it does. I do have other papers that I'm going to show you in a minute. And yeah, I like this. It kind of it does a really nice gradation. You do get a little bit of the harsh lines with this system. Letting it dry and kind of going from there. But I do recommend, if you are going to do this like wet blend technique, make sure you don't pull, like go here and then kind of go real quick. You want to kind of make sure that you're pulling the other colors up out of the fibers of the paper and then kind of moving it, because you won't get this even gradation. You'll get this like muddier, and you can see how I did that. I went from scarlet, red, orange, bright yellow, yellow, and lemon yellow, and I went across and I kind of blended that out. I'll do a really quick example. Here is the scarlet red, and I kind of, oops, I needed to wipe the water out of that. You'll know that you can kind of wash the ink out of the brush bristles of the pen. When you first start using them, you can dip them in water and it rinses out the bristles of these pens, and it's fantastic. You can do these really cool like gradations and that kind of stuff. Understand that I am quite new still at this. So here is how I did this. I kind of laid them out like that with a little bit of space in between to get these gradients and these blends and this like kind of ombre effect. And so then I just took a little aqua or water brush and I kind of saturated it with a little bit of water and just kind of moved it across the page. And then I kind of moved it back and forth, and then I kind of went more across to pull that ink across and kind of blend these two together. And then I kind of did the same thing with this. Always pulling back and kind of blending each color out to get that kind of nice gradation. And then I kind of pulled it down too, because then you can also see how light or how much of a wash. I do find that watercolor paper or the mixed media paper really helps with your harshness of your lines, so you don't get that harsh kind of line. Like you kind of get a little bit, but you can kind of work with it and kind of pull it out. And also you can take your water brush or a paintbrush and lift up some of that color if you want. You get your brush real dry, and then you come back in and like lift it up. The little example that I did, I also did it on 100% cotton paper. This is a no brand name that I got from Amazon. It was 100 sheets for $16, and it's 94 pound. I have to say I'm not a fan of watercolor or the 100% cold press cotton watercolor paper. What I found is I laid these down, and this was I walked away, and about 15 minutes later came back and tried to do the blend like I did with this, that I left this area here for like an hour like with the blend, and then I was able to blend it out. This 15 minutes and it wasn't. I have to say that you can get some really neat kind of looks with this style, but with this paper. But it's not gonna. It doesn't react like a pulp-based or a fiber-based paper, like regular watercolor paper. Just, I am new again. I'm gonna say that the cotton paper tends to be feels a lot more drier. This is with blending with just the pens and no water, and you can see how less I could get a blend. I could not drag the ink across this because it kept drying out the marker or the pen. And then this was 15 minutes or 10 minutes of letting it sit on the paper and then coming back and trying to wash it. It would not move. It's like once you lay it down, you can't really, it doesn't really want to kind of blend out. It has these real harsh lines, and you'll see that it's harsh. It just doesn't do this beautiful feathering or beautiful blend crossed with this smooth gradation. I did do a wet on wet technique. That is the same kind of technique. Unfortunately, this one is not that, is a little wet still. This one is still wet too. But this is the same technique on two different types of paper where I laid the water down and then I added droplets into it. This one has more of a bloomier texture. We'll see what it does when it dries. We'll come back to that. Yeah, these are the real color, or the clean color real brush zig markers or zig pens, however way you want to categorize them in your brain. I am going to call them more of a paintbrush pen, a real brush pen. I've never used a real brush pen. Like, I've never used any of the Pentel is it the Pentel pocket brush pen? Never used it. It's not something that I'm familiar with. So with that, this is the 80 set of the Zig Clean Color Real Brush. That is a tongue twister in itself. If you want to look at the colors in the thing, I have 4 of the colors out, or 5 of the colors out. But here is the set. It comes in this plastic case with the flaps. that go on there. And they do also come in individual sections of 4. They have this little case that you can pull out, and they're individually sectioned off into 4 different colors at a time. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say. I haven't really used them much. I do want to show you a coloring I have. This is a work in progress that I've been working on. All the browns and these, excuse me, all the browns and these greens are the real brush markers. And this is on just the basic paper that came out of this is Mandala and Paisley, page 19, out of the book that I've showed you guys in the past that I got from Amazon for a couple dollars, or like around $6 or $7. I have to say that I really like the way that they laid down on this paper. I do not recommend, because it's just basic thin, like almost like a book style, a little heavier than a 20-pound page of paper. I don't recommend water on these. I just recommend using them as a paintbrush or a brush marker. That way, I will be looking into scanning some of these images once I get a scanner again, because my scanner is old and it does not want to recognize what my computer does not want to recognize that. So we'll have to work with that. And once I get a new scanner, I will be scanning some of these in and maybe trying out, maybe working with these on a watercolor paper and actually being able to saturate the paper and do some watercolor effects and kind of see what we can play around with. So yeah, stay tuned, and I hope you guys like this video. Thank you for coming to my coloring corner. Yeah, I love you guys, and I thank you very much for always coming back and watching my videos. And if you're new, please hit the like and subscribe button. I will be trying to post videos once a week right now. Mostly on Wednesdays or Thursdays, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!